I didn't exactly mean to start. You were in the middle of telling me something that I don't have to.
Oh, I mean, I learned so many skills at the course that definitely helped me be able to get through and finish the job or whatever.
Yeah.
But I would have so much more fun there if I could go now.
Well, yeah, because you have like confidence by being more senior in your field, so you wouldn't have any of the worries about that.
Well, no, I mean, I had a bad day at work on Friday and I was like, well, this is it for me.
Seedy Shorts.
All it takes is one or two failed experiments to immediately make me feel like, well, I shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, you had 2 papers published in the last week. And then you had 1 day at work and were absolutely despondent.
Yeah, that's right. It's like when I was applying for postdocs and then I was like, well, I'm actually never going to finish my dissertation, so I'll just stop emailing all of the PIs I've been talking to and just never reply ever again. That's definitely the way to handle this.
When I was applying for grad school, one of the places I was looking to apply to was CUNY in New York, right? Like the guy that I wanted to work with there was like super famous guy. You know, he wrote the literal book, and I decided to go to Duke. But however, I left things with them. I had been admitted there, but it was less financially viable. Wherever I had left things, I guess I had not sufficiently explained myself to that guy, and he wrote me an email saying, you are rude and bad for not having done whatever sort of communication that I absolutely didn't understand that I should be doing, but it was extremely mortifying.
Oh, that's terrible. I mean, I guess there is an expectation that I didn't apply to that many places.
Sure.
And I definitely did have to tell someone that I wasn't joining their lab.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to do it over the phone.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah. Duke's a good school. And I actually was just thinking about that this week because, is about to graduate and he was looking for a postdoc and I mentioned a couple of places to him. I mean, I specifically mentioned them because I knew firsthand or secondhand, at least. I hadn't worked in them, but I knew people well who'd been in those labs and said that they were really good bosses and like it was a good vibe and a good place to work, which should be a top priority, I think, for most people.
Yeah.
So I guess some people can take it, but and he did get one. I think he was offered both of those positions.
Cool.
I know he was offered both of those positions.
He had that good paper he was first author on, right?
Well, it's not out yet, but it's going to be good. Yeah, it's going to be big. But he accepted the one with the more famous person, and the less famous person was talking to me and was like, "Yeah, it's really hard to compete with big shots. It's really hard to get someone good in my lab." And the thing is, she's so great.
Yeah,
Well,
I went to Duke to work with Carrie instead, who was 27 at the time. Not exactly a tenured big shot. She is now, and she quit.
Hell yeah.
This is like a lot of this. Actually, there's probably no real way to cut this where this makes any sense to have it on the podcast. But I started recording in the middle of a conversation that really needed the opening context to make any sense. I'm 100% confident I'll be able to put together something that makes sense, because I always do, but pretty rambling so far.
Yeah, I mean, we shouldn't even consider this to be recording the podcast. We're just having a conversation, but weirdly into microphones.
Actually, I mean, I appreciate that you've maintained the good mic hygiene, even when we're saying things that clearly are not meant for the podcast, because occasionally something will work for the podcast. So it's better that way. Seedy Shorts.